Danny Gaselli.
And I thought we'd just do a little bit of a tiny sneaky throwback today. I want to take you back to that time where you got your first ever job, whether it was a barman, whether it was working in a restaurant, maybe you were an intern. Now that you're there and you're picturing your job, I want you to picture that first boss that you ever had. Now here's the question today. What is your message to the first boss that you ever had? I'll go first. How dare you? I'm better than that. No, I'm joking. He was amazing, actually. So my message is, thank you for the opportunity. You made me grow. You gave me that opportunity, and I'm so happy where I am now. So his name, I can tell you, Pindani Nene. He was the chairman of a soccer club called Durban Stars. I signed my first contract when I was in matric. And here I was, this young guy, and he's like, I believe in you. You've got this. And it was the belief that got me to where I am now. So my message is, thank you. What is your message to your first ever boss? Come on, let us know. This could be serious, it could be funny, it could be juicy, it could be all three in one.
Hi Danny, you Thursday tinsel of goodness you. It's Valerie from Pietermaritzburg, and my first boss was a very strict lady many years ago when I started as an apprentice hairdresser. And she was so strict, boy. All I can say is, how could you, put me through all that? But at the end of it, I always say thank you, because if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have learned the best ways of how to do my job. So thank you very much, Hannah. Cheers.
That was such a cool message. And the messages are coming in on the East Coast Radio Facebook page as well. Kim says, life was definitely greener on the other side. Anthony says, I became everything you thought I couldn't. Hashtag, look at me now. So you can either contribute on the East Coast Radio Facebook page or send us a voice note. 061 792 9495. What is your message to your first boss you ever had?
Hi there. So my first boss actually passed away during the COVID time. And if I could ever say something to him, I have my own business now 6 years later. I was very, very quiet. I used to cry if I was shouted at. He actually molded me and made me the businesswoman I am. I am so grateful for him. I don't think in my wildest dreams have I ever thought I would be my own boss someday. And I'm really grateful for all the lessons and everything that he actually pushed me through and put me through to be the strong, independent woman I am today. So I am actually very grateful for him and everything that I was possibly able to learn from him and grow.
It's amazing how the ups and downs of those situations shape and mold you into who you are today. So as you reminisce, as you look back on your first job, what is your message to the first boss that you ever had? It could be good, could be bad. We want to know all about it.
Howdy, Danny. It's Les from the Bluff. What I would like to say to the very first boss that I had at a clothing manufacturing company, when I came to tell you that I was being bullied, you didn't believe me. And just because I was 19 didn't make what I was saying irrelevant. So I would like to say, you're an honor.
My first job and my second job. I just have one thing to say to those guys. You guys never pay me. It's been over 20 years and I'm still waiting to get paid.
Hi Danny, it's Sam Boja from The Bluff, and I would like to give a special shout out to Warden Groves from Mishonga Farmer. They're based in Cape Town. They gave me a chance as a medical rep 15 years ago. Every other company wanted someone with experience, and when you're fresh out of university, how are you going to gain that experience if no one's willing to take a chance on you? And Warden Groves and his dad gave me that chance. They took a chance on me, and 15 years later, I'm still going strong as a medical rep. Thank you.
Hi, Danny. So my first boss, I do remember him. My first job, on my very first day of work, I walked into a room full of filing, and that's what I did for months, was filing and filing and filing. How boring. But now I'm 70, and that's a job that brings me an income, and I'm employed. Why? Because I know how to file things.
Good on you. You know what I've noticed with this today? There's good, there's bad, but there's nothing in between. You've either had a great experience with your boss or a terrible one, but we want to hear your experience. What is the message to your first boss that you ever had?
Hi, ECR. My first job was in-service trainee as a junior civil engineer and I was working on a site at the harbor. My boss at the time was Richard Lamble, who owned the construction company. Very strict but very humble person, and he's given me the opportunity to be where I am today. If it was not for his robust and ways of doing things on site, I don't think I'll understand the construction industry the way I do today, and I don't think I'll be the engineer that I am today. Thank you, from Kabir.
The very first boss I had was Debbie Dayenheiser, who worked at TBWA Hunter Scores in Johannesburg. But one of the best bosses ever. She taught me everything I know, and I still follow all her procedures till today in my own business. But thank you so much, Debbie, for all your love and attention to detail. Love you always.
Please keep these coming through. It's good to reminisce. Hey.
Hi, Danny. My first boss, way back in 1982, he was the owner of a veterinary practice in Port Shepstone. And I just want to say a very big thank you to him for bringing me into the working place when nobody else had faith in me. And I proved them all wrong, and we worked very well together. And he taught me a lot about the veterinary field, and especially veterinary nursing. And yeah, he was just a wonderful, wonderful man. Lent me money for my first car, and he was even my best man at my wedding. So yeah, definitely a man worth having as a boss. And I give a huge shout out to Alan Dean. And yeah, thank him for everything that he did for me.
Hey, Danny. My first boss was actually my father-in-law, because I married his son. Although I was accepted for nursing at 2 institutions, he called me into the printing business and got me started, and I became the big boss at the printing business. My father-in-law is late, and my husband is also late. So I am so grateful for what I've learned in the past 33 years. Yeah. Life has been good. Thank you, Danny.
Hi, Danny. It's Gail. So my first real boss, in other words, after I qualified, was a gentleman by the name of Vincent O'Donoghue. He has since passed, but I remember sitting in that interview. It was at an ad agency in Durban. The position was for a receptionist, and I remember sitting in that interview and Vincent asking me, well, what experience do you have? And I had literally just qualified. And I said to him, how am I going to get experience if no one's going to give me an opportunity to get that experience? And Vincent and John took a chance on me, and they employed me, and for that I can never thank them enough for giving me that opportunity to become the amazing person that I am today.
KZN's #1 hit music station, East Coast Radio.